Please, please, play. Oh, nice. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Let me. There you go. Yeah, nice, nice. Hey, that's me. 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 A chat with Mended Mark. Oh my goodness. Holy crap. Holy crap.
I'm afraid that I won't get approved for skin removal.
1,000-pound sister Tammy Slayton has revealed plans for skin removal surgery following her drastic 500-pound weight loss. During the trailer for the upcoming season of 1,000-Pound Sisters, the reality star revealed her biggest insecurity right now is her excess skin.
Annie's got thinner, and she's comfortable with her own body, but I don't feel that way because of my excess skin.
After visiting her doctor to find out if she can get approved for skin removal surgery, her doctor revealed it wouldn't be an easy process and would require multiple surgeries.
You've got head-to-toe loose skin. It's going to take several operations and several healing phases.
I'm afraid that I won't get approved for skin removal. I'm afraid that I won't get approved for skin removal.
1,000-pound sister Tammy Slayton.
Jeez. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Look at 1,000 pounds. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's absolutely. Jeez. Multi-layer. No way. That's so awesome. That's so cool. I really. No way. Trans coach. Wow, that's a big ol' L. The search for survivors. Finally working. Yeah. What? Portland Antifa busted. Jeez. Buddhist bells? No way. No way. Oh, Brenton. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. That's great. This is crazy. Something going on. How? Best performance. Best battery setting. What did I break here? Sahari. Oh, there's another. Oh, but mean to me for some reason. All right. 62%. It takes the phone like stupid. Hey. What you now concrete? Dang it. Dang it. Oh, broken it. But what are you making? This is crazy. Making poo gas. Donuts. Ooh, nice. Is he building this jazz by hand? Litigious, vexatious litigant. That's crazy. We need belly. About changes. King. That goop. Turnings. What was it say? Man, that's pretty high quality there. That's only 720 60 frames, that's why. Let me set this up 720. 720. Nice. Look at my beautiful face shape in this stuff up in there. That beautiful space that was right there. That beautiful face looking spectacular. Alright, so harden the, what does it say? The temperature of the mold is measured to adjust something about the metal. Wow. The temperature of the melted Sahari and the cooled mold are adjusted and the Sahari is poured at the right time. That's so dang cool. That's so dang cool. Dang, while it's still hot, the sprue is removed. Oh, the sprue, that's the thing that, the part that's poured, basically the funneled part of the metal, the sprue, that goes into, that feeds into the mold. I guess they get rid of that while it's hot, so they don't have to cut it off while it's cold. That's really cool. Wait. Richard. Whoa again. Gimbal later. Nice. Nice. A beautiful sound. Annealing. Annealing is the process of heating the Sahari and rapidly cooling it in water. This softens it, making it easier to process. That's dang cool. blades processing. Constantly, the black casting skin is shaved off to correct any warping or imbalance. Oh, wow. Finishing on the wheel. The surface of the Orin is further smoothed and shaped in detail after removing the casting skin. Must be soft metal, man. That's crazy. Oh, nice. Wow. And then what? Tempering. So they made it soft to make it easier to work with. Now they're going to make it hard to make sure it doesn't scratch and dent. Adjust the hardness of the Orin and enhances its resonance and tone. Nice. This is crazy, yo. Sound inspired. That's awesome. Wow. Handheld bells. The orange melted on the lathe and polished while rotating. Sandpaper. Wow, can you imagine? Hand finishing all this. Wet sanding it. Wow. Inside and then outside. It's water. I don't know, beat up. Nice, dude. No gloves, no nothing. They can feel every single piece of it. Polish and compound. These pieces of wood to knock out. Oh, the thing will be. That's freaking awesome. Cleaning. Because they're hot. They're drying. Okay. Waxing after polishing is slightly heated and coated with melted wax and white clean. So I guess it doesn't rust if they're ferrite. Beeswax probably. Some say more like oil than wax, but I guess they know what they're talking about. That's freaking amazing. Look at that. Nice. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely. Ooh. What's something else? What up, Jag? What up? Oops, excuse me, here. Dude, I just woke up at like a half hour ago. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't go back to sleep. Started looking at bells. Bells. Freaking so awesome. I love people that do their own that create their own stuff, make their own stuff, dude. It's so awesome. It's so yeah. Changing your username. You'll get used to it, dude. It'll take a little bit, but you'll get used to it. Yeah. Oh, what? How to make records. Yeah, I love this stuff. How stuff's made. This stuff's so awesome, dude. So you gotta cut the blank. This is how they make records. Dude, this is so crazy that records used to be so popular. Brave from the band Enclosed. You want to check out your band, brother? What you got? What you got, Grave? What you got? What you got? What do you got here, Grave? How do you feel? My baby. What you got, Grave? Is it on your channel? You said Jaguar. Oh, right. I remember that earlier. You haven't made anything sadly yet. Okay, well, keep working on it, brother. So I toured from 19 to 26 years old. This is a long time. It was 22 years ago when I stopped, but it was great. A lot of fun, dude. Being in a band is some of the great. I mean, I don't know how it is now with the internet and everything, but back in the day when you could go from like bar to jet to um, um, different, just any locations where parks, fields, and state to state to state. It's great. It's absolutely great. We had to record on big ass reel to reel machines like back before digital. It was a lot of fun. So I was in the music industry. I was in the movie industry. I just left the movie industry to do YouTube full time. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got a lot of knowledge with how that stuff works and how to record, how to write, what to write. Just basically, if pop music or popular music is basically advertising. So you'll notice that like the reason country music is so popular is because they always talk about liquor or beer. So they're always selling or marketing liquor or beer. And then hip hop, they're selling death, guns, and violence, and other hip hop artists, other rappers, sex. They're selling something in their music. They're not just they're selling the lifestyle. And then like punk rock and stuff like that, you're selling the clothing and stuff like that, the brand, the lifestyle. Same with emo. You got to sell something. You got the reason for bands in modern pop culture is you have products that need to be sold. So then you create a band, and most bands are created. You create a band that creates the advertisements for the products that you have, whether it's weed, smoking that weed, feeling fine, got me, because a lot of people make a lot of money off of weed sales. So if you can make more and more people interested in smoking weed by singing songs about weed or any other thing, it's that's what it is. Well, that's good, Grave. Tell you what, just keep at it. Listen, it took us a good month of practicing every day just to get to the point where we were good tight with. And we were all live. We weren't playing. We didn't have computers or anything like that. And we had a drummer, a bass player, two guitarists, and me. I was the singer. That we had to like learn each other and like practice together, practice other people's songs so that we could get tight rhythmically. And then, then we started writing our own stuff, standard power chord stuff. 1 3 5 drop D stuff, which was easier. So yeah, we played all over America. Starting in Baltimore, we played up the sea, up to New York, down in Florida, over to Ohio, the East Coast is a lot of places, a lot of places. Annapolis, Baltimore mainly. That was our main area. It was a lot of fun. Got a lot of girls, a lot of kisses. But yeah, it was great. A lot of great fun. And you don't have to be like awesome. You just gotta sell something with your music, whether it's love or I mean, if your name's Grave and you're playing like the Misfits style music. I didn't perform with the Misfits, but my brother's band, the Fishnet Stalkers, they opened up for the Misfits in Baltimore. I bet you I can still find the flyer. It was the Fishnet Stalkers. Fishnet Stalkers opened up for Misfits in Baltimore. Sonar. Yes, here it is. Look, look. Yes. The Fishnet Stalkers opened up for the Misfits at Baltimore's Sonar venue. The Fishnet Stalkers are a local Baltimore band described as playing fast rock and roll with distorted guitars, loud screaming vocals. Fans of Iggy Pop and the Stooges, Kings of Leon, and the Misfits would appreciate their sound. November 10th, 2005. There you go. The Fishnet Stalkers, baby. Oh, baby. Yeah, boy. All the punk rock chicks. Nice. Good old days. Good old days. Yeah, brothers. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. And all you have to do is most bands break up after a couple of months. All you have to do is keep going. Even if it takes a year, you'll get there. And first of all, you have to understand that you have to write for something. You can't just make, you can't just make music to make music. But I'm talking about if you want to get paid to make music. The whole, oh dude, we're not gonna sell out. That's all bullcrap. That bands that have already made it, they don't want any more competition. So they tell people like you, don't sell out, dude, don't sign to record major, because they don't want competition. So they tell you not to do things because you'll be a poser. And then they won't have you as competition because you'll never get there. Black metal, great. There's lots of that's great. So there's a lot of room for black metal bands. And you can absolutely do it. And because they're such a tight group, most black metal bands, I don't know what state or country you live in, but when they tour to your area, they'll use their local metal artists as their opening acts. So it's easy, as long as you guys are tight and you get something together, then you can sell your merchandise, and I highly recommend using direct to garment and printing. So don't sell the actual t-shirt itself. Don't buy 100 t-shirts and travel with them because it takes so much space in the van, and it's hard to travel with. And to try to sell them online, like have like an iPad or like a cheap $20 tablet at your merch table that's like chained down, and people can buy the t-shirts right there off of Spotify or Shopify, and then it'll ship to them in like 3 days. But you never have to print them, so it costs you $0. You don't have to waste thousands of dollars having a bunch of stuff printed and buttons and stuff. They can buy it directly off of your Shopify site. Then Shopify will print them when they're purchased and ship them to your fans. That way you don't have to spend thousands of dollars having buttons printed and having shirts printed and stickers printed. You can do it all for free for $0. And that way it'll be shipped. They'll be buying it off of the Shopify site. It'll be printed and then shipped directly to the people when they buy it. And you can do it for $0. That's the biggest problem with bands, is they spent all their money on merchandise. Then when they don't sell any merchandise locally, they get this, they like, nobody likes this. Yeah, don't worry about none of that. People will, but they got to get to know you. You have to, yeah. So that's how you do it, my friend. That's how you do it. I sang. I got my nose is stuffy right now. But I can sing, la 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 la. I sang. I got stuffy nose. It's hard for me to talk right now, but yes. Punk rock, baby. Punk rock. I got my skinny ass Jane's Addiction, like big ass nose. But I still got long hair. I'm 48 years old now. I would still tour. I mean, some people are touring in their 70s, dude. Good. So you should definitely sing. Singing is a great thing to do, and it gets you lots of chicks. I'm looking at how to make records right here, so you might be interested in this a little bit. It's odd. It's odd that you came into the live while I was looking at music stuff. Yep. Slayer's great. Slayer's great. And there's a lot of bands that, I mean, they're not in their 70s yet. They're like a little bit older than me. They're probably like in like their late 50s. Let's see. Let's see. Slayer members' ages. Man, there you go. Looking at, that's their ages currently: 61, 64, 60, 61, 57, 61, and 55. So yeah, so I think they just retired. They retired and come back so many times. But yeah, so that's the thing. Don't think, oh, if we don't do it by the time we're 24, blah, blah, blah. No, don't think that bullshit, dude. Just keep at it if that's what you want to do. What up, Novair? Took you long enough. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kiss still tours. Kiss tour dates. Yeah, okay. No, they haven't toured since 2023.
According to Wikipedia, the End of the Road World Tour was the final concert tour by the American rock band Kiss. The End of the Road World Tour is what they called it. They ended it in 2023. But they did it for a whole year. Oh, they did a 4-year tour, January 31st, 2019 to December 2nd, 2023. And then they probably just got themselves a couple $1 million each for that tour for 4 years. And then they said, forget it, we're done. What up, Nova? But yeah, it's definitely possible, dude. It's definitely, everything's possible. You got, I understand you're into dark metal, but you understand two things. And Kiss, Slayer, they all, two things: believe in God and believe in yourself. Regardless if you want to sing dark music, you've got to understand that there's two sides to every story. In order for there to be evil, there's got to be good. In order for there to be a devil, there's got to be a God. And understanding that I mean, you should not push people towards evil, towards Satan. If you want to sing about it, that's fine. But don't just be like, Satan is my Lord. Satan is my Lord. But understanding that, like, even if you look up Slayer images, all right, and Now let me see if I can find. So they have a bunch of pentagrams and stuff. But if we look at a lot of these guys, they're wearing crosses. A lot of them are wearing upside down crosses, but they're all Christians. Slayer members, Christians. While the band is known for dark and often satanic imagery, the band's bassist and vocalist Tom Araya is a practicing Catholic. Araya has even spoken out about his faith and how he sometimes felt conflicted with the band's lyrical content. So it's, but why do you think they made it? They made it because they're believers, and praying. If you can call it prayer, you can call it meditation, but it grounds you and it shows you the way and it allows you to think. If you always just stay confused and stay with the noise of the world and don't ever like stop and pray every day and listen to what's going, and listen for things coming back, whether it's to the universe or it's to Jesus or whatever, that's where you'll get your path. That's where you'll figure things out. That's where, things will go. And find people like me that don't want anything from you. I don't want any money from you. I mean, a subscription would be cool, but I don't want anything from you, and I'll help you all you want. You can come onto the lives and ask questions, and I'll help steer you. And remember, it's good to talk to old people because we've already lived your life and we've already made the mistakes that you're going to make. So you can avoid all those mistakes by just asking what to do and what to avoid. And if you ask people, they typically will. If you listen to the grand stuff, everybody, like the people that are already the elites, they'll guide you the wrong way because they don't want competition. This is how they make their money, by like being. So if they tell your band how to get signed, how to get up there, then that you'll be competition for them. There won't be as much money for them. So they tell you, like, don't sell out, don't sign to a label, stick with your roots, dude. Yeah, don't do all that. So that's up to you, dude. False idols and stuff like that. A lot of the stuff is as long as you don't worship it. If you're playing a part, that's acting. That's appears to be okay because you're acting. You play as long as you don't aim people and tell them, worship the devil is your god. Don't do shit like that. But if you wear it just for the imagery of the band and stuff, then that's typically all right. But yeah, because the only reason you go to hell is if you don't accept Jesus. That's basically it. All you need to do is understand that he's the way. We don't got to talk about it, but he's the way to knowing, appreciating the fact that he died a very violent death in order to pay for the sins that we have. Then, once you understand that, it's called being saved. And I'm not saying you can do whatever you want, but things like that, perform. If you're doing that in your own bedroom and nobody's looking because you're worshiping Satan, then you're done. You're going to hell. You're cooked. But if you're doing it while on stage, because it's, think about people that act. When they're acting like murderers, they're acting like killers and stuff, but they're not actually killers. They're acting, they're performing. It's entertainment. If you're doing the same thing, if you're entertaining people, but you can act like you're a devil worshiper, but just don't be a devil worshiper. It's probably right. Yeah. So that wearing that stuff isn't typically. Yeah. You get what I'm talking about. You get what I'm talking about. All right, let's look at the vitals. See how they make records. I got called a devil worshiper because I wore a hat. I'm sure you definitely will sometimes. Absolutely, that'll happen. Getting all the dust off. He's making a master mold for records. Records are awesome. So we used to help people when I was living. Back when I was in a band, we would help bands do this because people still put out records, like actual records. Not like this. Oh, one thing I would recommend is don't hate any music. I mean, you can hate like gangster rap because it's so horrible for people. Like it encourages, but like don't hate music just for like I hate country. Don't hate country just because you say you hate country. Understand that if you can understand how the music is made and why it's popular for so many millions of people, it can help you. Even if you don't have to play country, I'm just saying it can help you. And by not hating anything like that, you can hate a band, but don't hate a whole genre of music that's that does typically okay. Yeah, good point. Stay neutral, absolutely. Because you'll find some of the best like guitar players or banjo players in country, and if you say, hey, we want a freaking badass Slayer lead, and you can't find somebody in your neighborhood that can play leads like that, you go find the local country guitar player and he'll be like that's great. So he's carving the grooves into this master plate. And then I think they metalize it so that and then he's looking at it with a microscope, it looks like, to make sure everything's good. And then they'll metalize it. They'll put metal on top of the plastic there with the wax. And then that'll turn into a plate and they'll press the PVC to make the actual PVC records. So that's pretty making the other side now, I'm guessing. Side B. No, there he goes. Yeah, side A and side B. Completed disc. That's damn cool. Right. So he's cleaning everything, washing it, rinsing it. Oop, that broke something. Drying it. And then he's going to spin it. It'll spin all the water off. And then air. See, this is metallization. He's causing metal to bond to the plastic, so then it's protecting it. I think it's aluminum plating. We get our inspiration from Mayhem. Mayhem's cool. Yeah, absolutely, dude. What up, Jag? Yeah, Mayhem's cool. Get your inspiration from anybody, dude. Get your inspiration from frickin' Barry White, from frickin' Mayhem, yeah, whoever. Find a band you want to find a band you want to emulate, like, and then don't worry if you sound too much like them, because you naturally, as you like as the months go on, you'll naturally start swaying from being like that. But at least if you guys have inspiration from Mayhem, at least when you're like covering Mayhem songs, you guys will be tight together. You guys will get your rhythms and stuff. Will be good. And that's like the best things that you can do, because being a tight band is very important. Obviously, it just doesn't sound like slop. But even if it is slop, if you're having fun, that can be some of the best performances. This is freaking so awesome. What up, DJ 18? Back, it's 5:20. Where are you at, DJ? Where are you at? It's 5:30 in the morning in Georgia. We're watching records get made. Look how freaking awesome everything is. Metal plating. Look how wobbly it is. Like it's warped. I can't believe there's not like a rubber tip on that air gun. You could screw up the record. You're in the UK. That seems awful dangerous to do. Let's get rough edges off, I guess. And then there's going to have to be a chrome, like a shiny. So, there it is. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Then they'll put like a big puck of like gooey plastic that it's pressed, and you figure it's all, you know. But when they watch how they actually make it. Like how they actually make the actual record. These are just. He says, I'm going to high school soon, and everyone says I'm going to get beat up for wearing band shirts and pentagrams. Those are their brothers. No, it's not. I mean, well, you're not going to get beat up because you wear that. I wouldn't. I mean, you know, if you're in a band, you're in a band. But no Christians are going to beat you up. If there's definitely going to be assholes, you know. But you're not just going to get beat up. People won't just go beating people up. They'll go to jail. So now, yeah, people are trying to scare you away from doing the things you want to do. I mean, I wouldn't wear upside down crosses and shit like that unless you're on stage. I wouldn't just wear it to school. I'd get out of school as soon as possible. The American education system is freaking trash. But yeah, I'd wear them. I mean, I'd save the upside down crosses for stage and for band practice. I wouldn't wear that stuff to school. I mean, you wear whatever shirts you want. Jaguar says, think about how many of these were bought a day with C's. No, these aren't C's. He's making a record, Jag. He's making records. He's making the press that makes the plastic records. They're still making the actual tools that make the records. Yeah, they haven't even gotten to that part yet. He's creating. Watch, you'll see in just a second. He's still making they're making the tools.
We've found the Vibe board extremely useful for our design build office and our ability to be able to convey.
So see, that looks like the record. That's going to go into this press machine here, and then they put a big piece of soft plastic, PVC plastic, and then the thing will squeeze it, and then all the PVC will squirt out. Oh, that's a cutter. Sorry, that was a cutter to make sure it's perfectly circular. So that was a big blade. So it'll take the extra piece off. Yeah, that's where he cut the piece away. So now it's the proper shape and size of a record. Okay, and then let's fast forward a little bit. All right, now he's putting some lubrication on it. He's putting some so things don't stick to it. Polish of some sort. And this is the machine that makes the records now. So he's got one on the bottom and one on the top. And then they'll put the record label on there. And then they'll put that's the enclosure. Then they'll put the paper label that's on the center of a record. Then they'll put the hunk of goo and then the other label on top. They said that I would get beat up for staying. No, shut up. Don't listen to them. That's called fear mongering, Grave. Don't listen to those people. They're stupid. They don't want you to be yourself. So they're trying to scare you into doing what they like. They're trying to scare you into being what they want you to be. Don't listen to that bullcrap. All right, so here's the plastic. So it's going to be a blue record. Okay, so now they're going to take that plastic and they're going to put the paper on it. Squirt the dust off. Make sure there's no dust. Then the paper's on the bottom. Then the plastic. Then the paper on top. Now watch this. Just to squeeze it. Yeah, it's the extra plastic coming out the side. Then it's going to cool for a second. And there it is. Now they're going to trim the edges. And it's gonna keep making more and more and more. But that's how records are made. And that's called a puck. Isn't that crazy? That's how record player records are made. I woke up like an hour ago and I couldn't fall back asleep harsh. Now I'm watching how they make records. Now we're trimming the excess off, rounding the edge so it's not sharp, and there, now you got records ready to go to market. Now they're trimming the edge. There you go. Nice. See, isn't that crazy? That's absolutely so cool. And then they'll take every like 10th one off and they'll play it on a record player to make sure that the mold isn't bad. Yes, that is funny. I agree. Yeah, now they're going to test one here to make sure it sounds like the original. I have a Urian heap. Oh, record. Yeah. So yeah, that's what that was. That blue stuff is vinyl, PVC, polyvinyl chloride, PVC. I ever tried ASMR? Yeah, I can't get into it ASMR. I've tried. I haven't tried to make it, but I've tried to watch it. I learned how to draw hands 25% from the video, 65% drawing class, and the other 10% learning to figure it out. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you definitely have to like figure it out. You definitely got to figure it out, man. But yeah, that's just a lot of fun. So I learned how to draw hands by just looking at my hand, and then I would take a pencil, take my big ass pencil, and then I'd just look at my hand, and then I have my notepad, and I would just look at my hand and then just draw my hand. That's how I did it. But hey, yeah, classes, anything can work. Let me see what I'm at here. I'm running out of super nasal juice. Let's see what I got going on here. But yeah, that stuff's a lot of fun. It's really cool to watch how people make. I love watching how stuff's made. It's a little hey, is a brand reached? I've had no, I haven't had anybody reach out for collaboration or anything. Collaboration, yes, no brands though. But I've had other YouTubers ask for collaboration, but not any brands yet. Harsh, yeah, not yet. I can't wait. Hey, whenever you're ready, start sending them my way. It's a little too complex. I need a hand. I need a hand statue thing. You got one right here, man. Just look at your hand. Look at your hand. Take a picture of your hand and then put it on the screen of the computer. I'm going to tell you another trick you can do. Okay, take a picture of whatever you want to draw, like a hand, however, like whatever shape you want the hand in, right? And then you can enlarge it on your computer screen or your phone, and then you put a piece of paper over top of the monitor or the phone so that you can see through it. Then you can trace through the paper. The hand or whatever you're drawing will shine through the paper. Use tracing paper or thin paper. Then you can draw that way. You can trace it, and you can learn the different inconsistencies. Yeah, so that's very important to know too. I love to draw band logos. Like, yeah, Grave, I used to do that all the time. The popular Metallica logo with the M and the A, with the large. Yeah, I love that stuff. Me too. That's great. Band logos are great. And if you learn to draw band logos, you can learn to create yours, or other people's. And then you can become an artist. Like Black Flag, the brother of the guitar player in Black Flag, he was the artist that did all of their album covers and their like 4-bar logo. All right, where am I at? All right, we got that. Let me see where I'm at. Bam, bam. Oops, I'm breaking it. Bam, 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 bam. There we go. My damn, I got like all kind of Dustillator 5000 in my nostrils. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, you made yours? That's good. Hold on. Have you ever heard the song Gangster? Yes. Gangster's Paradise? Power after power, money after money. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great song, and then Amish Paradise. Yeah, living in a gangster's. There you go. Dang, I'm wagging, yo. I tell you what, I got freaking sinus issues. Ooh. It's been living most our lives, living in a gangster's paradise. Who, me? No, shit. I don't even live in the same state anymore. I live in Georgia now. I used to live in Maryland where all my bandmates were. I can't play them. I keep getting copyright strikes. I mean, we can play a little bit of it, I guess, but only like a few seconds. Only a few seconds. Been spending most of. As I walk through the valley of the shadow.
Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
We do family dinner every week. Heads up.
Stop it, Johnny.
On July 25th. Time to save the planet.
What's the
Come
plan?
on.
Trust me. I hate that.
Some people
That's
put
a
it out
stupid
there
plan.
live to add audio to live. Yeah, I understand what people do, but that's ain't me. In the pistol smoke, fool. Been sleeping once or twice, living in a gangster's paradise. Living in a gangster's paradise. All right, that's enough. So some people put in their live and some add audio to live. So if you're monetized, then the artists can get paid. But I'm not monetized yet. So there's like, if they do a copyright, if they say, hey, he played my music, I need 17 cents. There's no way for them to take money out of my account because I don't have an account. I'm not monetized yet. So that's why if they're already monetized, then you can pay these people for their art. You can pay them for what you're using, but I can't because I'm not monetized yet. Been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Yeah, all that stuff. Was that a Heart on Fire? I was wondering what that was. Ooh. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I look at myself and realize there's nothing left. I've been living so long, even since my heart is gone. I never met a man that didn't deserve it. Merciless, yeah, they're good. There's a lot of great bands, Grave. There's a lot of them. I agree. I never met a man that didn't deserve. But one thing you gotta understand too is if you look at most bands like biographies, you'll see that like a lot of people, like they started bands when they were 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, and it wasn't until they were in their 20s that they started to get popular. So we're talking about they were in like 4 or 5 bands till they found the people that they clicked with and stuff, you know. So it's hard because a lot of people realize, my name is I Fail First, because you can't fail unless you try. So if you try bands and you fail, try again, fail again, try again, fail again, try again, then you'll succeed, you know? So that's the trick. The trick is to keep going. Yes, Merciless is from Sweetie. But Amish Paradise is a good one too, yeah. I've been churned butter once or twice, living in an Amish Paradise. I've seen Weird Al Yankovic twice in concert. Freaking phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let's see. Oh, what's this? Look at that fat little sucker. Real choo. Pamper Moody. What the heck? What was that? Oh, crickets. Fall over. Ooh. The Bathory, yeah, they're good too. There's a lot of great bands. Bathory's good. A little on the evil side, but you know.
Sitting in the corner.
Sitting in the corner, playing my recorder. Yeah, Amish Paradise. Let me see if I can find it. Let's spend the most of my time living in Amish Paradise.
Do you want to learn how Elwood and I made major progress toward becoming debt-free, and how our community...
Shut up. Loke. 4:30 in the morning. I don't. My channel has all my favorite bands in one place. Where I harvest my grain with myself.
And realize she's very plain, but that's just perfect for an Amish like me. You know I shun fancy things like electricity.
Like 1493.
In the morning I'm milking cows. Jebediah feeds the chickens and Jacob plows. Fool and I've been milking and plowing so long that even Ezekiel thinks that my mind is gone.
Even Ezekiel.
I'm a man of the land.
Even Ezekiel thinks that much. I finish all my chores. We party like it's 1699. 1699. Man spending most of our life. All right. Oops, cancel. Where am I at? Let's see. We're going to take a look there. Grave. Remove. Let me go to channel. There we go. I never met a man who didn't deserve it. Churned butter once or twice. Satan's metal. That reminds me of my youth. You're gonna get me fired. Let's see. I just want to see. Okay, here's the list. I just want to look at the list here. All right. Wow, Sarcophago, Sodom, Slayer, Merciless, Mayhem, The Hate Wall, True Mayhem again, another Merciless, Sodom, Sarcophago, Napalm Death. Yeah, that was old school stuff. Once Upon a Lifetime from Salem. That's old school. Slayer, Bathory, Venom, Necro, Foucaire. Stormtroopers of Death. Speak English or die. Wow. Hips don't lie. Richard, you ever thought of buying a yacht for party stuff? No? I don't think I'm going to. Back when I was a musician, yeah, that stuff, but not now. I'm 40 and I'm only gonna freaking party. I'm one of those hoes. I ain't down with all the prostitutes, dude. They're ugly to me. Dude, I had my fill of women, and now they're so that society has turned women into prostitutes. It's so bad. Like, it's just it's horrible. I'm not. It's not down anymore. Leray, Motorhead, there you go. Au pair, up for Sarcophago. Earring catalog. That's probably what No Name Pump Death, right? Sex with Barbies. Stormtroopers and Death. Kill yourself, kill yourself. Why don't you kill yourself? That's crazy. The Christ Passion from wow, yeah, that's a lot of old school stuff. Old school stuff. Searching, it's a good song by Shakira. Shakira. Oh, I know Hips Don't Lie. You just want to watch the video. I know all about it. I know exactly what you're trying to do, Harsh. You're trying to see Shakira. Look at 1.6 billion views.
En Kroger, viva la alta calidad y los precios bajos. Kroger, fresh para todos.
Come on. Yeah, old school's good stuff. Don't be bored because we haven't paid the phone bill in 300. Oh, right. 300. Yeah. Shakira.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that,
you make my body look fat.
So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body.
All
the attraction, the tension. Don't you see, baby, this is perfection.
Oh, she said this is perfection. I bet you that guy ain't playing that guitar at all. They're like, here, hold this guitar real quick.
Real slow. Don't you see, baby, I see it's perfect. Babe, I know I'm on tonight. All the attraction.
All right, enough of that craziness. All right. You make a woman go mad. Shakira. You make a woman go mad. That's right, Crave. Average song to the chill and playing soccer with the bros. Lips don't lie. Shakira. Yep. Shit's great. I tell you, it works. Pop music works. 1.6 billion views. Dude, I tell you what, Grave, do something like that. Cover something like that. Metal version. There's got to be a metal version of My Hips Don't Lie. There's got to be a metal version. Oh, if System of a Down wrote it. Okay, here you go. Metal version. This is the stuff you should definitely do. If for YouTube
you don't have
reasons,
to be a VIP to get more than just saving.
There would be so many. Like if you guys could do metal versions of like pop songs like that, and I'm not saying do a bunch, but do 1 or 2 or 3 for YouTube, you'll get a shit ton of views and followers and stuff like that, and then they'll start looking into your own music. But you gotta hook. You gotta hook them. You need something to hook. You need to do a hook.
With Geico, every customer gets 24/7 fast-friendly claim support.
No fight. Shakira. I really know that she can dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Bonita. Shakira.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. Be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body. I'm on tonight, you know my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right. All the attraction.
That's what I'm talking about. Man, you're one of the best YouTubers I ever talked to. Hey, thanks, brother. I'll be around, bro. Just think about it. Like you bought a private yacht for $6.75 million, and in it you host parties, inviting persons. You dressed in the beach and drinking wine while vibing. Dude, look, I'm not anti that. I'm all about it. If I had $6.75 million, I would absolutely buy the yacht so I wouldn't have to pay taxes on that $6.75 million. And I have no problem throwing parties. Absolutely. Absolutely, Harsh. 1.6 billion views, and Roblox Grow a Garden is 13 to 14 billion views. It was its biggest game in Roblox history and beat Fortnite with 6 billion at the Galactic event. Wow, that's a lot of numbers. But yeah, Grave, I tell you what, I try to help. This is the thing. So the name of the channel, 110th grade, I try to teach people stuff that they can't learn in school. School only goes up to 12th grade, and then you got like 13th grade, and you got college, but they don't teach you anything except for how to help other companies make money off of you. Like they teach people how to be customers rather than teaching them how to be creators. So I'm trying to fight against that by helping kids realize that a lot of like the cut your dick off bullshit that they put in the news and stuff is all they want to mess you up so you can't be competition for them. So they want you to no longer be able to have kids. They want you to screw yourself up so you can't compete with the elites. And that's the whole point. That's why everybody will try to drive you into a wall. They'll try to tell you things like, oh, you're gonna get beat up if you dress like that. Oh, they're gonna beat you up if you sing songs like that. Oh, you're never gonna make it if you don't blah 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 blah. If you don't buy this type of guitar because they want to make money off of you, or if you don't buy this kind of that, or like if they're trying to make money off of you or trying to change you on your path, yeah, that's all a bunch of bull. Exactly, because most people want to ruin your dreams because they're too much of a wuss to even try their own dreams, to even try to realize their own dreams. Most people won't even try hard enough to fail. So like they'll try to make you fail so they don't look bad. If they can convince you to not even try, then they don't look as bad for not even trying. It's true. Fortnite held the record for the most player. Harsh says, is it true that the more money you hold in the bank, the more tax you pay? Yes. Banks are a lie. The reason rich people don't use banks is because they have to pay taxes. If you have $1 million, you should buy $1 million property because the value is just going to go up. If you take $1 million and you put it in the bank, you're going to have to pay taxes on that for making that $1 million. But if you buy real estate, there's no tax on real estate purchases. That's why rich people buy real estate, not just putting it into the bank. If you put money into a bank, you're loaning the bank money. You're loading your money to the bank. That's why they give you interest. Inflation is 4% a year. So if you're not getting at least 4% interest, you're losing money by having it in the bank. And most banks only give you 1%, like less than 2%. So you're losing money by having it in the bank. Oh, baby, if you talk like that, you make my bottle look fat. Shakira. Oh, baby, if you talk like that. And dude, I tell you what, Grave, another great thing, if you're a singer, if you learn how to use your voice, you can also do voiceover stuff for like cartoon, because you're in the age group and the era where you're gonna have a lot of people your age as they grow up that'll be animators and stuff like that. So you'll be able to find a bunch of people you can use your voice and your musical work to make music for their animations and cartoons, and you'll be able to do the voice work. You can do voice work because you learned how to sing, you learned how to use your voice. Your voice is an instrument, just like playing the guitar. You learn how to use your voice. So it would make sense that the banks are trying to bring you down, trying to make your cash go down. Right, exactly. They don't want to compete with you. So if inflation is 4% a year and you put the money in the bank, right, and the bank gives you less than 4%, you're losing money. But they're getting the inflation. They're getting the 4% on your money that they're keeping 2% of, and they're only giving you 2%. So they didn't go to work to make that money. You just walked up, here's my money. Go ahead and make money off of my money while I lose money. So that's what they're doing. It won't be, dude. High school will be fun. You'll find girls and stuff, especially being in a band, dude. If you're in a band, you'll have fun. You'll be fine, dude. Play music. That's all I got to say. If you want high school to be fun and fun, play music and don't hate anybody, even if they hate you. Understand the teachings of Christ. Don't hate anybody. And you'll be fine. And like if you can learn to do recordings and stuff on your laptop and invite other people over, like that's what I did. I had a mixing deck at my house, but that's before computers could record stuff. And I had people come over and I would record everybody, hip hoppers, death metal, punk rock, country, everybody. It was great. High school, they're just trying to scare you. They want you to drop out so you won't be competition for them. Trust me, my friend. What was I talking about? Oh, okay. So let's see. Let's see what the average Bank of America is. Hold on. Bank of America savings account interest rate. Okay, did you see this? Bank of America's savings account offer 0.01% to 0.04% interest. They don't even give you $1 per $100. It's 0.01% that they give you for you giving your money to them. Yeah, so that's a bunch of bull crap, yo. Man, my nose. My hips don't lie, I start to feel it right. Tequila. Dang, yo. I am super stuffalated. My hips don't lie. You know, I'm gonna do this. Oh, one in my ear. There we go. There we go. I want to move to Norway. If you hang out on this channel, you'll meet ND. He lives right next to Norway. He lives in Denmark. No, 0.01. No, not they take. They only give you. If you give the bank your money, they should give you more than 4% to keep up with interest. They're only giving you 0.01%. They should give you at least 4% to keep up with interest, or you're losing money by having it in the bank. And they're not doing it. They're only giving 0.01. That's 100th of a percent. Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, and they charge you fees like $5 checking fee, $6 blah 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 ATM fee, and $2 every time you use an ATM machine. So they're just nickel and diming you, taking your money. It's all bullcrap. It's all bullcrap. They figured out a way to get money without making money. They just stand there and people come and drop off the money that they made. Then they take your money and they give it to other people as loans. And what do they charge on their loans? Average home loan from Bank of America interest. So they charge So if you get $100,000 for them to buy a house, they charge you 6.9% a year. So 7%. So if I put $100,000 in Bank of America, they're giving me 0.01% for that. But then they're going to give you the $100,000 for 7%. So they're making 7% off of you and only giving me 0.01%. That's how they make money. Me and my band went to the move and then the rent in the old Mayhem house, and sadly the singer's dad took his life. Yeah, dude, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't take your life. Don't do that. It's never worth it. Because the thing is, I know you're young now. I'm 48, so I can't even remember the problems I had when I was 20. I can't remember the girl that broke up with me, or somebody that hated me, or my depression. I don't even remember anymore like what that was. So it doesn't matter anymore. So if I would have killed myself back then, look, nothing good would have became of it. I would have missed out on all the cool stuff. That's crazy. Yeah. So don't ever do that. It's never worth it. It's never worth it. And like I said, even it's never worth it. Over like stupid stuff like women and stuff, that's never worth it. Even if they break your heart, it's never worth it. Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm just saying, most people don't talk enough about suicide to realize, kids get depressed and they kill themselves, and it's like it's stupid to do that. It's really weak. It's really weak, and there's no need, because if they would have just waited a year, whatever problems he had would have been gone. Mayhem singer suicide. Dead musician. Yngwie Pele Olin was dead. His name was Dead too. That's crazy. Cohort syndrome. Died by suicide. Died like he died by freaking AIDS. He died by suicide. Suicide got him. It's crazy. Yeah, I remember this. I remember him. Yeah, absolutely. Dead was a popular figure. His legacy persists. Dead was known for his morbid personality, his obsession with death, his corpse pain. He died by suicide. He was 22. He died at 22 years old. I'm more than twice as old as him. He's an idiot. Introverted and depressed. His demeanor would go harming himself. Yeah, he had issues. Let's see. Oh yeah, he got his shit kicked out of him by bullies. But yeah, it's what's cohort syndrome? What's cohort syndrome? I don't even never heard of that. I don't think. Cohort syndrome. Cohort syndrome. Cohort syndrome. There's a certain neuropsychiatric Cotard syndrome. Delusions. That one is dead. That's crazy. He thought he was already right. I understand now. Yeah. That's crazy. Antidepressants, antipsychotics. Well, he's dead now. That's for sure. And the problem is, you don't know if he's actually had it or if he was using it as advertising for the band. That's a big problem. Who knows? He could, that's the big problem with liars and stuff. And obviously, he didn't care enough to not kill himself. So, yeah, it's crazy. And people do it for attention because if he was the lead singer of a band, he wanted attention. It's unfortunate. That's the big thing. That's the thing about social media and stuff. Most people lie on social media for attention. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Poor bastard. The guitarist took a picture of his corpse. Yeah, they said they put it on their album cover. Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem, dude. People that worship death, it's a big problem. It's a big problem because then they don't mind killing each other and killing themselves. They want to be the ruler. They want to be their god. It's a big problem. That's what I'm talking about. Don't forget that there is a rule. There is a creator of this earthly realm, and going against it. Well, I mean, he could have been popular. He could have been super rich. May have ended up making a lot of money, and he lost it all because he killed himself because he was playing with the dark arts. Right, and it worked, right? And this is what I'm talking about. When people try to get you to do things that are bad for you in order to help themselves. So this guy, like other people, want to tell you to not go to school, not do things so that you don't succeed. So obviously, if the guitarist told him to kill himself so the band did better, obviously Dan is going to die, and he's not going to be able to experience the riches for the band. Right? But the guitar player sure the hell will, because the guitar player is going to get a new singer, and they're going to go and they're going to tour like they did. Did he ever go to jail? Did the guitarist go to jail? Mayhem's guitar player receive any legal issues? Okay, yeah, he was sentenced to 21 years in prison. Oh, he killed the Mayhem's guitar player. What? Yes, it says it right here. Look. Notably, Varg, also known as Count Grishnak, who played bass for Mayhem, killed their guitar player, Oyston, and then burned a church down. He was released in 2009. But it was the bass player who played bass for Mayhem is involved. He's sentenced to 21 years for the murder of the guitarist. The bass player killed the guitar player. What's up, Borchel? I'm here to drop a like. You should do the same. Thanks, Borchel. It's just a double click on the screen. Do not make this complicated like weight loss. I love you, Borchel. Borchel. My hips don't lie and don't feel right. Shakira, Shakira. Are they still together? Is Mayhem as a band? Legacy. Despite the kind of Mayhem remains highly. Okay, well, I guess they still. He reformed in 1995, continued to release music and tour. Is Mayhem a satanic band? Oh yeah, they're still playing. They're still playing. That's crazy. I didn't know that they were still together. Death-like. Count Grishnak. Varg, better known as Varg Vikernes, actor best known for his early black metal albums for his later crimes. His first 5 records, Burzum, made him one of the most influential figures in Norwegian black metal. He was convicted of murder and arson in '94, so it's 21 years in prison. What a freaking nut job, dude. He's only 52 now. He's only 4 years older than me. Crazy ass people. It's just so depressing. My hips don't lie and I feel right. Shakira, Shakira. Where do they go here? Bang, bang. LA nightclubs rejecting black women. Uh-oh. Handmade. What is this? We talking about Varg? Yeah. Do you remember Varg? Varg from frickin' Mayhem. So Grave, Borchel, Grave from the band Enclosed, we were communicating, talking about how to get his band moving and how not to kill himself. And so we were talking about Mayhem in general, the band Mayhem in general, and then the falling apart and the deaths and suicides and murders. The hips don't lie. Supermodel Godfather. Oh my God, look at the butt cheeks on this chick. No way.
Oh my god!
Get it. Come on.
Scared the shit out of me. He had a fake leg. Look at that. That's funny as shit. That's what I know. That's so funny on it. Look at this guy's leg. The guy with no leg acts like he kicks him. Watch this. He kicks him. Oof. Oof.
Yo quería mostrar.
Oh my God, dude. Jesus Lord. Ooh, that's freaking crazy.
Oh my god!
Fat people. That shit drives me nuts, dude. I love this type of stuff. I love it. Love laughing. Final round. I don't exist. Whoa, what the heck? Whoa, oh my goodness. Wow, that's crazy. Dude, I saw this lady. You should check out Syringe. That dude is crazy as Varg. Oh no, what have you done, Grave? You brought out the freaking death metal side of Borshell. Nutrition idea. Anti-vegan movement. What are we talking about? I'm just messing with you, brother. The anti-vegan documentary. What did he do? I'm trying to find. The goatee. Which one was it? Do I got it right here? SV3RID 600. Legal issue. Oh, cult. Debunking all debunking dumbest people borderline mentally disabled. What is this? Mentally disabled. Okay, let's watch what's going on here.
Hello guys, and today we're going to be reacting to and debunking
bitch talk when you're
/Sverige's point in his.
Alright, I can't listen to this shit. What the hell?
Vegan argument. This job. Just gotta make sure that this guy's part is hearing. Looks like a tree of mine.
Let me see if I can find some crazy chick. Yeah, this lady is wackadoodle. Hired hitman? Wow, this is the day after my birthday. My birthday's January 10th. My what? Kill your own son. What the hell's going on here? He's good on the nutrition, but stabbed high school friend and tried to kill his wife. Excellent anti-vegan videos. Excellent on the nutrition. Good on the nutrition, but stabbed high school friend and tried to kill his wife. Yeah, that sometimes happens. Yeah, he should have drank the Kool-Aid, and he would have been fine. He would have been nice and walled into nonviolence.
The other path Democrats can take, full-blown communism. Far-left allies of Zoran the Destroyer.
Zoran the Destroyer. I don't want to. Is there a better way to do this rather than this stupid ass talking back and forth?
To all of your problems. Pregnancy. The reason you look the way you look is because you did not get pregnant right after you started menstruating. Not doing that is exactly the same as not eating meat and fat when you are hungry, and you will be naturally punished for it. You are punished with your looks. I've talked about cannibalism before and how nobody wants to talk about it, but when it comes to incest, nobody wants to even think about it. If you switch off what you have learned for a second, you may come to the same conclusion about sex. We get told about these genetic disorders and birth defects. There's a lot of claims, but no proof. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wouldn't these problems logically come from law that is further away from you? You've probably heard of the saying, nobody's above the law. Most likely from the media, which really just means that you're a slave, especially if you call yourself a law-abiding citizen, then you're an absolute slave. In reality, every animal on Earth is above the law, which includes humans, and that's because the law doesn't exist. Yes, Reyes.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to handle that right now. Marduk, I have nothing to it. Grave, how dare you, Grave? You've destroyed Borsel's perfect sense of serenity and made him evil. All right, this guy's crazy. Marduk crimes. Marduk crimes. The Tekken universe, Craig Marduk's crimes. There's the death of Armor King. Oh, wow. Do you? He went from vegan to raw meat eater, but have some insanity in him. Oh, well, I think he definitely has. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something interesting about the raw meat thing. I'm starting to think about placenta as a nutritional, like when a mother gives birth to a baby and births the placenta, and the mother's body goes basically into shock. I think this is one of the big reasons for postpartum depression. I think a lot of that could be nutritional because in nature, most other animals eat the placental package, which is crazy enough. And some humans do too, to put the nutrition in their body, because the nutrition's needed the nutrition of the placenta is only needed until the baby's delivered. And if you don't separate the baby from the placenta, it'll kill the baby. The umbilical cord needs to be cut. And in nature, before you had scissors, how did they cut the umbilical cord? So that's crazy shit, right? Women that consume their placenta. Oh, here you go. Some people believe that eating the placenta can prevent postpartum depression. eases bleeding after delivery, promotes healthy hormone balance in the body. Some women do choose to do it. Practice known as placentophagy. The practice gained popularity in recent years, driven by anecdotal reports of benefits and endorsements of celebrities. Women who engage in placentophagy often cite a desire to combat postpartum issues and aid recovery after birth. Some benefits: increased energy, improved mood, increased milk production, faster postpartum recovery, reduced postpartum bleeding, balanced hormones, better sleep, replenished nutrients. But if you ever watched cats, if you ever watched kittens be delivered, like the mother chews the, eats the placental sac, or not the placental sac, eats the, I can't remember the name of the sac. Eat the sac off of the body, the birth sac off of the baby, and eats the placenta. The mom eats the placenta. So, and she chews the umbilical cord, because if not, the baby will die. My future wife ever did that, we're getting a divorce. Well, at least you're thinking about marrying her before getting her pregnant. That's good. So well, I mean, has medical technology even cared enough to try to help women recover? No, because they want women to be depressed and have issues so that they can pay for the pay for their relief, like by getting antidepressant pills and stuff like that, rather than just eating. It's weird. I know, brother. It's hard to think of, Grave. Life is very weird, and most people don't even know that. Most boys don't even know what the placenta is. They think when a woman give birth, a baby comes out, and then there's a baby, and they cut the umbilical cord. Right, I have to admit, with Borchell, we are definitely more animals than we're told to believe. And I'm starting to think blowing my nose is doing worse for me than not blowing my nose. Hootie. Howdy-ho! Howdy-ho! What up, Hootie? Hootie and the Blowfish? Yeah, that's just crazy, yo. But this is the thing about the placenta and cord blood. There's a lot of stem cells. I mean, that's basically what it is. What's going on, Hootie? Hootie? Is it Huddy or Hootie? One or two? Hootie? I'm guessing Hootie. Let's say Hootie. I'm Hootie. My hips don't let it. Shakira. Oh my God. Let's find some videos. Medical experts say don't eat placenta, citing lack of research. That don't mean it doesn't work. That just means they haven't said, hey. Because most boys these days do not even know what I have to admit there, thanks to Dr. Fauci, that right. And they don't realize that women don't pee out of the same hole that they bleed out of. Like, if you ask boys how do women pee with a tampon, and they're like, how do they do that? I guess they gotta take it out. And they don't realize that women have different holes for urine and for procreation and menstrual activities. Yeah, Fauci does. Dude, and Disney made a Fauci movie. That's how you know they're wackadoodle. The Disney Fauci movie. Look at this. Let's watch the trailer. Let's watch it. Let's watch the Fauci trailer to see the propaganda.
When I think about my dad growing up, I certainly think about that seriousness. But very few people.
Yes, there's more than one hole, Grave. Yes, they have the vaginal opening and they have the urethral opening. So they can, the urethral opening is where the pee comes out of. Just like we have a pee hole, they have a pee hole. And they also have the birth canal, which is, yeah.
We'll get to see him. He's funny, weird, and really playful.
God help us.
In
Yeah, God help you
1981,
when your dumb ass goes to hell.
HIV/AIDS was evolving rapidly and frighteningly. There was anger at the government's response.
When you got sick, you were gone fast.
It's affecting you now.
Yeah.
Why?
Bullshit, you're a liar.
Post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Shut up.
When COVID
Such a
hit,
lie.
he became this target.
My dad said we're going to get through this whole thing, and he's held that.
You don't do it because you want to make money. You don't do it for the glory.
Then why'd you make
do
so much
it
money?
Because you care.
When you're involved
You don't
in a
care.
race
You don't care.
to
I can't
stop
watch
a
this.
horrible
This is so stupid.
disease, you always feel you're not doing things quickly enough.
Unbelievably whack-a-doodle, man. Unbelievable. This is propaganda to the 99th percentile. This is the best tragic comedy trailer I ever saw. Why are you so upset, Mr. Fauci? My bank account can't fit any more money in it. I have to open another one. Lion sack of dog shit. What's scary, Grave? That women have meant to more than one hole? Vaginal anatomical drawing. Vaginal anatomical drawing. Vagina anatomical drawing. Vagina anatomical drawing. Jeez, I guess my thing don't listen. Jeez Louise. All right, let me find an anatomical drawing. All right, here we go. Here's a drawing that might not be very So you have at the very top you have the clitoris, and then right down and from the top you'll see that little hole. That's where the urine comes out, the pee comes out, and then the bottom is the vaginal opening. That's where the babies come out and the blood comes out and the tampons go in. So the very bottom is the birth canal. Then up the next hole up is the urethra. Basically, it's where the pee comes out. This is a Grave. There are more than a couple of holes in the female anatomy. I'm a professional. But yes, I'm here to teach you. Let's get the stuff off the screen before I. But yeah, absolutely. And then we're gonna big old hunk of meat. There are definitely more than a couple of holes. But yeah, you're not dealing with any of the other ones. But yeah, things. So they don't teach boys stuff about girls, and they don't teach girls stuff about boys because they don't want anybody. It's so stupid. Like if you ask, let me see if I can find it. Boys asked how girls pee with tampons in. Boys asked how girls pee with tampons in.
Life's better when your stuff is protected under our roof.
How does a girl pee with a tampon in?
I've always wondered this.
Uncomfortably. Probably uncomfortably. I mean, you can be skilled. There gotta be like a tailgate. You gotta be at like a Buffalo Bills game. You'll see those girls do amazing things in the parking lot with a tampon. They move it to the side. I don't know how it works.
I have no idea, dude. It just goes?
Does she take it out? She takes it out. Yeah, take it out.
It's a different hole. Let me
There
explain
you
something
go.
to you. The vagina is a very complicated construct. There's 4 holes.
You hold it off to the side.
Hold it
or
off to
take
the
it
side.
out. Or maybe it absorbs stuff anyway, so it could do both at the same time.
Yeah, just pee into it.
Or take it out maybe, because I don't think that could be good.
Yeah.
Through the urethra. It's not covering her vagina.
I feel like you confuse yourself.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
It's a different hole. I thought the pee comes out of that little tiny hole at the top.
You have to take it out first, and then they have to put in a new one.
Yeah.
You can't. You gotta take that out. No, there's 2 holes. There's 2 of them. This is another tough one. I don't know quite the I haven't seen that in person or experienced it myself, but I don't know if, if I had to guess, I don't know if it's like you have to take it out first or if it's a different part of, I'm not that great at anatomy, I guess, to know.
Right. So yes. So right. People that they don't know. People don't know that stuff. I was very lucky because I always loved learning and I always loved helping people learn and teaching. So when I was a waiter, like 16, 17 years old, 18, I guess I was 18-ish. I had people like girls and guys that were like also waiters, and they were studying. They were going to college to try to be nurses or doctors, so they were studying anatomy. So I would take their books from them, and then I would read through their medical texts. And then like as we were like going through the restaurant, delivering, waiting tables, doing our job, I'd ask them a question about their medical text, like what they were quizzed on, like. How many bones are in the human body? How many bones are in the ear? Whatever. And so I would quiz them to help them learn, and that helped me learn. So, yeah, but most guys don't know anything about a vagina except for that's where you have sex. Yeah, and sex said they only right. And sex said they only talk about, and well, now they're talking about how to cut them off and how to turn them into other parts, which is crazy, grave. Yeah. Yeah, those were grown ass men. They don't know, right? That's crazy. Yeah, but we didn't learn. So we were in mine was in elementary school. So in America, in my state at least, elementary school was 1st through 6th grade. Middle school was 7th and 8th, and then high school was 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. That was high school. So I learned it in 5th grade. We had sex ed in 5th grade. And I remember people, you could write questions down and put them into a bag so no one knew who asked the question. Like, what is a condom? And, do girls fart? Yep, they do. They stink too. But yeah, but they didn't say girls pee out of different holes. And, like, I think I learned that probably when I was 15 or something, 14 or 15. I can't remember exactly, but I remember learning it. But yeah, gotta know this stuff, especially if you got girlfriends and stuff like that, and eventually daughters. You gotta know like how to keep them from having like I think it's a big problem. People not understanding how the vagina is built. The whole like and if you have daughters and stuff and you don't realize how to keep that shit clean, dude, I've got proof. Girls farting.
How do you feel about girls farting in front of you?
Let it rip. It means they trust you.
Yeah.
Or their asshole didn't trust them. I don't know. One or the other.
It's disgusting. Because girl farts are like worse than any dude fart ever.
Well, hot girls' farts are pretty bad.
They're always exclusively cheese farts, too. Like, hot girls love cheese. Take a Lactaid, girls.
I like it. It's hot. I'm cool with it. I think it's fine. Like a funeral or something, then like don't.
Especially at a
It makes
funeral.
me laugh more than get annoyed, especially when she's a bad bitch. She'd be like, oh, there's some human to you after all.
Don't do it. Girls don't poop, girls don't fart. If you do it in front of me, I gotta go somewhere else. Like, I don't want to know that you even took a shit today. Personally.
I literally just farted.
I love it. Okay, so this is a big form of controversy in my apartment right now because my girlfriend thinks keep it sexy, but I'm like, no, people who fart together stay together.
Maybe. Yeah. So the girl that I dated for 10 years in and out of high school and stuff like that, Allie, she only farted one time in front of me in 10 years. And it was because she had a dental appointment and she hated dentists. She was scared of dentists. So she went to a place called Sedation Dentistry. And like the day before your appointment, you show up and they give you 2 Valium, one to take the night before so you can sleep because if you're anxious, and then one to take an hour before your appointment. So the night before her appointment, we're at her house, and she had taken it. I guess she used to smoke cigarettes. We'd go outside so she could smoke. And when she was stepping off the step, it went, and it's the only time I ever heard her fart in 10 years. And it was just like, but luckily the Valium was in her, and she was just like, she didn't care. But she wouldn't shit. She didn't fart for 10 years. Yeah, she had no control. So she was more embarrassed about it when the Valium wore off. But she was just like, shut up. I was like, 10 years! And I didn't make a big deal out of it because I knew how much she didn't like that stuff. Yeah, so right, because her body was too relaxed. And she was just stepping down, and I guess it just loosened the butthole up. And there it was slipping out. Girl farts. It looked like the same guy. It looks like she was asking the same guys, but they were all wearing different clothes. The hardest steak in the world. What is this? What are you doing? What are you doing to my steak? What's going on here? What are these brands have you heard of? Zero, Frexmo, Quick, Submit.
Oh god, that was not a good idea. I should not have done that. It just exploded on me. This beef is the hardest meat in the world. This is gonna make some delicious instant soup because we're making some meat tea.
What's going on here? How do you do it? Dude, yeah, 10 years though, 10 years.
Katsuobushi is the backbone of Japanese cuisine. This ingredient is in so many Japanese dishes, and it's one of the main components of dashi. It is a solid block of umami.
Yeah. I hope my girl doesn't do that on me. Yeah, dude, you better hope she doesn't.
Into thin pieces
If
and
she
eat
doesn't,
that.
so listen. If your girl, and this happens a lot, okay? If you're, especially in the first, like the honeymoon phase, if your girl doesn't respect you at all, doesn't care at all, and she's farting on you, and you know, like she doesn't care what you think of her, that's a big thing. Even though it's only farts, if she doesn't care what you think about her, and she doesn't care, like if she's stinking up the room around and stuff, you know, that's a big thing. That can be a big thing. It might not mean that she doesn't, you know, that is doomed, but you know, it's a big thing if she doesn't give a shit. If she's just like, whatever, I'm going to end up, you know, I'm a whore, so we're just going to end up fucking a few times, and then I'm going to leave you, and then I'm going to go to another guy, and another guy, and another guy. So if that's the way she's thinking, and why she's thinking about it that way, then that can be a big problem.
Make it into instant soup. The process to make it is incredibly time consuming. But after you finally make it, you can store it for years and make soup instantly with it. In order to do this, you basically have to petrify fish. This block right here, honkarebushi, took at least 6 months to make. And it's gone through different variations of boiling, smoking, drying, and even fermentation. It's typically made from katsuo, or also known as skipjack. But there are also other variations with different types of fish. What if I made this myself? But instead of fish, I use... And this makes everything way more different.
My grandma had these nasty farts sound like starting a tractor with a bad battery. Oh god.
Biting into beef is enough to make you emotional. Those sweet juices exploding into your mouth is enough to bring you to tears. But that's kind of the problem. Katsuo is normally super lean. Like barely any fat at all, which makes it easy to preserve for a really long time. And in beef, a lot of that juiciness and delicious flavor comes from fat. But when you're trying to preserve something for months and months and months, fat turns rancid.
Rancid.
It doesn't taste good and can ruin everything. We do have a couple solutions for that. One of them takes a really long time and involves growing mold. But that's actually the least of our problems. First solution is real simple. I got the leanest meat I could find, which is like eye of round, and I'm gonna trim the fat cap off of these pieces. Then I'm gonna check the initial weight. Katsuobushi is usually about 20% of its initial weight when it's done drying. Then I'm going to simmer the meat at 180 degrees Fahrenheit or 90 degrees Celsius for an hour so the meat can firm up. While it's simmering, I'm going to cook some ground beef and also blend it together with some raw ground beef to make a paste to fill out all the cracks.
What? Fill out the cracks?
We're supposed to cover it with this paste, but I really don't know why. So I think it's supposed to give it a more even shape. And I don't even know if this is gonna work because beef fibers are a lot thicker than fish fibers are. I'm gonna spread the paste over the beef and give it a smooth surface. Then everything goes into the smoker. This step can make or break the entire process. Smoking helps preserve meat, but we still have to be really careful in this step because things could still go horribly wrong. The smoke lowers the pH, creating a more acidic surface environment that inhibits bacterial growth. It introduces antimicrobial compounds like formaldehyde, phenols, and acetic acid. The heat from smoking also dries the surface, reducing moisture that microbes need to dry. And in hot smoking, it kills many of the organisms outright. Lastly, smoke slows down fat oxidation, helping prevent acidity and keeping the food tasting better for longer. Smoke is our friend until it's not. So if you smoke the meat too hot and for too long, the outside can actually dry out and trap all moisture inside, which can easily go from preserving meat to preserving your body in a funeral home. Trapped moisture at the center of the meat can create an anaerobic zone, or a zone with no air. On top of that, the meat is not salted, and we're keeping it at room temperature for a really long time. This is crazy. A perfect environment for C. botulinum to grow. The same bacteria that makes Botox, which is great if you're trying to get it injected into your face to paralyze your muscles to prevent wrinkles. But if you eat it, it'll also paralyze you. So one way around case hardening is to do nothing at all. And by that, I mean rest the block of meat overnight. This gives time for the water at the center of the meat to migrate back to the surface for a more even distribution of moisture. Isn't that called rotting? The next time you smoke it, you're drying it a little bit deeper. And if you repeat it enough time, you're gonna dehydrate it more evenly rather than having a thick, hard crust on the outside and a wet center.
Ugh,
right,
yeah,
it's been sitting
that sounds like
outside
my ex-girlfriend.
and we're gonna have to do everything again. I'm about to smoke it for the third day. And this is smelling really smoky now. And I didn't know that characteristic dashi smell is like from the intense smoke smell. Because this is really intense now. And it's starting to harden. It still gives when I press on it, but I could see it on its way to being hard. Like if you tap it together, nothing crazy. Still sounds like there's water in it. You can even see the glistening at the bottom. Yeah, we got, 13 more days of this, so.
That's crazy, dude.
This has been
Japanese people are nuts.
Drying for almost 2 months. After the first 16 days of smoking, and I actually put it into the dehydrator and switched it between 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Celsius back to 95
This is
degrees
freaking
Fahrenheit.
nuts,
and I switched
dude.
it back and forward until it became 20% or 25-ish% of its original weight. It kind of smells smoky, a little bit beefy, but it looks like
what? He lost 80% of the weight?
And it,
oh, 80%. That makes sense.
It sounds like a
charcoal.
piece of plastic.
Plastic.
It's kind of crazy. So normally if you do katsuobushi, you could eat this now. In order to make this actually like karebushi, the ones like they make in Japan, I have one more step. And this time it's really sketchy. Actually sketchy because
what is going on here? Mold. Ugh.
I have been dreading this moment. There are different power levels of katsuobushi. After smoking, the fish is called arabushi, which is what we have right now. The next level is after the surface is scraped and all that black smoke char comes off. And that's called harakabushi. And the final form requires...
The final form.
After mold grows on it, it's called honkarebushi, which is about 10 to 15% of its original weight. Aspergillus oryzae is what gives miso and soy sauce that characteristic umami flavor. And we've used it quite a bit in our previous videos, like grilled on meat and stuff like that. But the problem with this mold is that it sucks at growing on dry, crusty bits of meat.
It sucks at growing on dry, crusty bits.
Called Aspergillus glaucus. Aspergillus glaucus is a xerophilic mold, which means it prefers environments with less water in it. And it does a few things more than Aspergillus oryzae does. It actually breaks down lipids or fats And it decreases fat oxidation, which decreases rancidity, which essentially preserves the flavor. It also continues to suck water out of the meat, so it can be more dehydrated.
Yeah, suck water
So
out of the meat.
longer,
I dated that girl. I dated her too.
also improve the flavor, like how koji does to food. With the proteases and amylases and lipases, all that stuff. You could just check out the other videos if you want. And it's cool, because I get to use another mold that I haven't used before. I was getting kind of tired of using just koji. Except it's something that they don't sell anywhere.
Mold? Brand
Want to manage your business all in one place?
No.
Try Intuit QuickBooks.
No, I want to like 6 different places.
After weeks of searching, emailing, and calling. Hello, I hope you're doing well. I recently placed an order on Aspergillus glaucus, and I noticed there wasn't a description in the product. I'd love to get more information on it. Hello, Chung. Thank you for your email. Our signature vials do not contain actual substances. They are used for energy medicine practitioners. The vials hold water that has been imprinted with electromagnetic signature. Which meant there was nothing in there but water. You know, this is considered
That's
done.
crazy.
This is basically Arabushi. If I stopped here, it'd still count. But the voices in my head are whispering, what if I can do this? Never, ever, ever do this at home. This is not safe. This is also at the edge of my knowledge. I've never done this before.
The edge of my knowledge.
Well, first I'm adding water and 1% sugar into a mason jar. And I'm gonna place the lid on it and put it inside the pressure cooker with a plastic funnel so that everything gets sterilized. While sterilizing, I'm rinsing out my plastic bottle with 70% alcohol.
IPA.
I'm also wiping down my surface with alcohol spray and letting everything air dry.
This is
Next,
crazy.
I'm heat sterilizing my knife by dipping it
So
into
he's
alcohol
sterilizing
and
everything
heating it
in
until it
order to
glows
make
green.
mold.
Meanwhile, I'm pasteurizing the surface of the katsubushi by running it in the dehydrator again for 140 degrees Fahrenheit for a few hours. Once that's done, I'm using the sterile knife to scrape off the outer surface. Normally you would sand this down with sandpaper, but I only had a knife, so. I found this Honkarebushi, the official version that they made in Japan. If you can see here, there's a tiny bit of like white fuzz.
He's
There's
gonna
little white bits
take
of
the
mold right
mold
here,
off of
and
fish.
there's also like these little green bits right here. It's like little fuzzies, and that's mold. And we're gonna try to get this to grow on our piece of meat. There's a lot of molds that can mess you up. The air is filled with mold spores just floating around.
Right.
This means if you don't have a reputable mold source,
A
the mold that
reputable
you want to
mold
grow
source.
is basically trying to fight a free-for-all against all of the mold that exists in the air. It's like digging for treasure in a trash can. Yeah, you might find something useful, but you're also surrounded with, you know,
Trash.
garbage.
Right.
And in this case, the garbage can potentially kill
you, right,
I'm
yeah.
using my sterile knife to scrape off the outer surface of the Honkarebushi. And I'm gonna drop all of those shavings into that sugar water mixture. And I'm making sure to work next to an open flame to reduce airborne contamination. After that, I'm transferring the mixture into a mister to spray it over koji rice.
That's freaking crazy, dude.
Then I'm gonna incubate it until I see mold. This is probably not the most sterile technique. I'm just trying to minimize other mold and bacteria growth by being as clean as I can.
Months
I
later.
think I've had this in here for about 2 months now, and it's finally starting to grow mold.
That's crazy, dude.
Kind of crazy.
What's his
Now that I'm
his
looking at
channel's
this
name?
with
This
the
is a
light
great
and
if
everything,
they're
this
sterilizing
is
to grow while
freaking
explaining that to the
insane.
people in the West.
You see a
The
little
kids
bit
are
of
gonna-
white mold,
Yeah, right.
a little bit of
no.
green mold
His
with some
channel
bluish
name
tints
is.
to it. In the papers that I read, it said that Aspergillus glaucus had like a green and blue color, and this kind of looks like all the YouTube videos that I found on Katsuobushi, so that's kind of a good sign. The only thing bad that I see is like it didn't have like even coverage of mold, and I'm not gonna wait any longer. We're gonna try to eat this. Okay, we're not that stupid. We're actually gonna go somewhere first. I have a friend.
Yeah, you ain't explaining this to people in the West, spraying bleach everywhere.
So that's my friend Nick.
What up,
Hi,
Nick?
this is Mango. So we make a system for bioburden testing. So we test for molds, bacteria, yeast. So today we'll take your mold sample and we're going to subculture it, which means taking small pieces of that and putting it onto a Petri dish in order to purify it.
Petri.
This is the green one right here. This is probably the main one that I think this is all Aspergillus glaucus.
Okay.
There's a few white ones on the side, corners right there. I think that's Aspergillus oryzae.
And then once it's purified, then we have what's called a pure culture, which means one type of organism growing on that plate. We'll send it out to another lab for PCR testing, which is a test that looks at the DNA and identifies the type of mold.
Do you think I'm gonna be able to like eat this meat after we test it.
We'll give you the results. You can test the meat.
We'll give you the results.
Thanks, Nick. Yes, thank you for your samples.
3 weeks later.
I've been wondering why I've been doing this project at all.
Hey Trong, it's Nick. We got your results back from the organism samples that we sent out.
I could have bought it from the store. I didn't need to make it out of beef. I even could have stopped halfway through and called it done.
So we sent out 2 samples for PCR testing. One of them matched as Aspergillus, likely Aspergillus oryzae or koji.
But somewhere along the way, I wasn't trying to make something anymore.
The second sample unfortunately didn't match anything in the database, which is unusual, but it does happen. So it's kind of annoying. We don't really know what it is.
Giving everything you've got doesn't guarantee anything.
All right, this feels almost illegal to know, but our windows were so old and just desperately needed to be replaced.
Oh, shut up.
It won't always make sense. It might feel pointless, exhausting, stupid.
Hey, no problem,
so based
bud.
on those results, I would not recommend eating it.
But somewhere in the middle of that, even when things don't turn out, who you are at the start isn't quite who you are when it's over.
He's gonna eat it.
And maybe that's the point.
He's gonna eat it. He ate and he's eating it. He's gonna eat it and inject some of the water.
Let me just try the Katsuo first. It has like this distinct smell. It doesn't taste fishy, but it does have a strong smoke and umami. I didn't know it was smoked this entire time. That was my first time cutting Katsuo ever in my life. This is pretty hard to cut. I should have bought the slicer in Japan, but I did not. They usually have like a wooden box with a little guillotine blade on it that you cut with. So it's like a mandolin, but with a box underneath, so it's more stable. This beef one does not look as good. But you know
Do
what?
it.
Here goes nothing.
Do it.
Whoa!
Something fishy here. It's the best thing ever.
That's like immediate beef flavor. Huh! I thought that was gonna be pretty bad, but wow. Like you could tell that's beef. And it's not like a beef jerky flavor or anything. It kind of has like the same aromatic smokiness of dashi, but this tastes like a clean broth. It's no fat on it. The katsuo is way clearer. But you know, this makes instant soup really well. And I think if I grinded it into a powder, it's really good at adding beef flavor. I really don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I think I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna vacuum seal it. Maybe I'll try another PCR test to see what mold is on it. But if anybody knows what to do with this, let me know. And all you need to do is add miso and some noodles, and you have an instant meal.
Dang, yo.
6 months of work to make a meal in like 3 minutes. Have a good day.
There you go. There you go. I cooked every animal's brisket. What? No way. Can you actually eat raw chicken? Which of these companies have you heard of? Service Now, Atlassian. I broke something. What did I break here?
Let's see if I get diarrhea.
Let's see if I get diarrhea. Is that what he said? Is this the same guy? Yeah, this is the same guy.
Except I'm in Japan, where raw eggs are typically eaten for breakfast. So I should be okay, right? In the US, 1.35 million people get infected by salmonella every year, sending thousands of people to the hospital. And the biggest culprits? Undercooked meat, like chicken, eggs, and unpasteurized milk. In fact, 125,000 people get salmonella from chicken alone each year. That's fevers, explosive diarrhea, and projectile vomit for a few days. Eating raw eggs in the US could mess you up, but in Japan it's a little bit different.
That's what I'm talking about. Explosive diarrhea, baby.
In 2011, Japan did a nationwide
I bet you I can diarrhea farther than you can, friggin' wuss girl.
0.003%. which is freaking low. On top of that, since 2015, there was 0 to 2 cases of salmonella food poisoning each year with eggs. Yes, even the raw ones. So, how's this even happening?
Jan.
There's 2 ways eggs can get salmonella: on the shell or inside the egg. If the mother gets infected, usually through her environment, salmonella can make its way into her ovaries and straight into the egg before even the shell.
Wow.
It's a long, tedious process to keep that from happening. Salmonella-infected hens are identified and removed from the flock. Hens are vaccinated against salmonella. Good bacteria are added to the chicken feed, called competitive exclusion. That bacteria outcompetes the salmonella in the gut.
It's because their stuff down there is more fresh than... I agree, absolutely agree.
They follow something called an HACCP system, a strict cleanliness and monitoring program with regular testing built in. And to keep salmonella off eggshells, Japan uses an insane amount of technology in order to do that at
lights.
Eggs are collected and washed rapidly after being laid. The shells are sanitized to kill any surface bacteria, but they avoid high pressure or high temperature washes to keep the egg's natural cuticle, the protective layer that blocks bacteria, intact. That's what allows eggs to be stored safely at room temperature.
Room temperature, that's huge.
The ones with cracks are discarded. Another machine shines light through the shell to inspect for things like blood spots. Eggs are regularly tested and sorted. Ones safe to eat raw go to the grocery stores, while lower grade eggs are marked for cooking for commercial use.
This is awesome.
The eggs have shorter expiration dates to ensure freshness, but they can vary between seasons.
2 weeks.
They last
My
longer
phone's
than
about to
older
die.
ones,
All right,
shorter
brother.
and
All right, great.
And each carton is
Lisa,
labeled
good to meet you, my
where it
friend.
came from,
Thanks for the sub.
supplier and lot number. So if something
I'm
does go
live
wrong,
every day,
it can
my
be
friend.
traced
So
back.
yeah, I'll see you.
Regulatory bodies
I'll
like
see
the
you.
Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, known as the MHLW, set and enforce strict standards for safety and quality. So what does raw egg actually taste like when it's treated this carefully?
Just terribly? I don't know if I'd want to taste it. I don't know if I'd
I
want
went
to
to a
taste.
restaurant where they had all you could eat tamago kake gohan, raw eggs mixed with
All right,
rice,
brother.
where they give you as many raw eggs as you wanted to eat. It's all sourced from different farms with different chickens with all sorts of
No
eggs, from
way.
double egg yolks to pure white eggs to eggs with different flavors. You just crack it over some rice, season with soy sauce and whatever toppings you have around you, and eat it
Did
with
you
soup
see
and
that
some
pure white egg?
And the eggs don't really add a crazy amount of flavors. I've actually tried all the flavors, and the yuzu one actually tastes the most strong. Like, I couldn't really tell the rest apart. The only one I could tell the difference was the yuzu one. I don't know what they feed the chickens, but it's like straight yuzu flavor. The soy sauce seasons it, so it's actually way yummier with soy sauce. If you're not used to slimy flavors, it's a little bit strange, but I like the flavors. Usually this isn't like a restaurant food that you would eat, it's just something you would eat for breakfast at home. Like cracking an egg over already cooked rice, it's like a perfect way to like have a meal. Yeah.
All right, great. Yes, my friend.
Really not that much effort.
Yeah, albino. Yeah, I've never seen
It's
the
something you do in the
albino.
morning.
Just the
Very
first
easy.
shells were
Gives you a little bit of
racist.
protein, a little bit of fat, and nutrients to start your day. So then if raw eggs are safe, then is raw chicken safe too?
Teenagers
All right, let's. While that's
are building businesses with AI
while that's playing, let me see albino yolk.
ChatGPT.
Let's be real.
White
Most people
yolk
over 40
eggs.
use ChatGPT like it's Google. Copy, paste, ask a basic question, move on. That's not how smart people use AI.
Oh, hush. White yolked eggs. White, but usually caused by chicken's diet. A lack of xanthophylus, which are pigments found in some plants. Lutein. Wow. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Well, you can't see it. Look at that. Look at that, dude. That don't look freaking, that looks AI. That's like not a freaking drop of yellow on that son of a bit. Racist ass yolks. What's the next? Sunscreen tampered, neither gross. This is crazy.
Well, it's complicated. First, we're going to answer why eating raw food in Japan is important in the first place. In a lot of Japanese households, the belief is that foods need to be
Dwight
eaten raw,
Yolk, stupid
then grilled,
stupid
and
ad.
then boiled. The freshest ingredients deserve to be eaten raw because it's closest to its purest form. its truest taste. Japanese cooking tends to use fewer strong spices, not because it lacks flavor, but because the natural taste of the ingredient is highly valued. And seasoning is often subtle, designed to reveal, not mask what's already there.
On top of that, for about 1,000 years, from the 600s to 1600s, Japan's meat consumption was heavily restricted, mostly for religious reasons. So Japan's basically an island. Fish was the go-to thing to be eaten raw, making cuisines like sushi and sashimi. Meats such as beef, chicken, and pork were actually introduced relatively recently. So what happens when you take this deep respect for raw ingredients and apply it to something like
chicken?
I've been seeing a lot of vloggers and influencers rave about torisashi, or chicken sashimi, saying that it's safe to eat and it's really tasty. So I looked into it. In Kagoshima, the southern tip of Japan, torisashi is a regional specialty. People proudly eat their raw pieces of chicken here. But there are special precautions that are taken here to make sure the chicken is safe to eat. In 2012, a Torisashi Safety Council was formed in Kagoshima and Miyazaki to set hygiene standards for raw chicken. Equipment is sanitized properly. Since most of the bacteria is on the digestive tract of the chicken, it is carefully inspected and removed. Doing a special searing kills the bacteria on the outside. Chicken are also specifically labeled to be eaten raw, and it's separated from the chicken that you eat. The most common food illness in Japan and the US, not salmonella, is actually something called Campylobacter. Campylobacter usually causes diarrhea, cramps, and fever, but in rare cases, it can lead to nerve damage and even paralysis. A study compared Campylobacter contamination in two types of chicken. Chicken sold at specialty torisashi shops in Kagoshima, the region famous for its raw chicken sashimi, and regular supermarket chicken meant for cooking. What they found was kind of surprising. 46 out of 61, or 77% of torisashi shops had Campylobacter levels below detectable limits, which you won't get sick from. Only 14 out of 46 samples from the supermarket chicken met that same standard. Torisashi shops were significantly cleaner than supermarkets.
That's so crazy.
Here's the catch. Even among specialty Torisashi samples, 3 of the 61, 5%, still had Campylobacter levels high enough to potentially cause illness. The rest of the Torisashi samples had detectable levels of Campylobacter, but they were within a range considered too low to cause illness. So while the chicken used for Torisashi is much cleaner, it's not 100% safe. And there was still 5% of the samples that still mattered when you were eating it raw. One limitation of the study is that it only looked at Campylobacter, not other bacteria like E. coli, salmonella, that is also common in raw meat. While those also come from the chicken's digestive tract, Campylobacter poses a higher risk at lower doses. The problem is that operating procedures for slaughterhouses are not standardized across the country.
It's not.
At least for chicken that's eaten raw. They do have a Torisashi chicken like that. It makes my brain but that's more like general guidelines rather than laws. And some shops, especially in urban areas that don't have access to these chickens, they use chicken that's meant to be cooked for chicken sashimi. This isn't always the case, but it's still reported to happen every once in a while. The best way to avoid being sick is just cook your meat all the way before eating it. But for the people who actually want to try this, here's some guidelines. Absolutely don't try to make this at home. The chicken that is used are especially made for this. Eat it at reputable restaurants. I was really surprised to see it at supermarkets all over Kyushu, just casually there. But even those had warnings. Eat in Kyushu, which is the most southern region of Japan. Even better if it's Kagoshima or Miyazaki, where Torisashi is the regional specialty. Your safest bet would probably be going to one of the restaurants that are listed on the Torisashi Association website, where they all agree to follow all the standards and safety practices that help keep the chicken safe. Avoid it if you're a young child, elderly, pregnant, or immunocompromised. And once you get it, don't let it sit out. Eat it as soon as possible. Don't give the bacteria time to multiply. Don't eat too much of it because there's still a chance of it having bacteria on it that are within normal limits for that serving size, but if you overeat, you can still get sick from it. Eating raw chicken is definitely riskier than eating raw eggs. People still get sick from eating raw eggs, but definitely a lot less, and is way more regulated across the entire country. Chicken is more of a, I'm gonna volunteer to keep these safety standards in a small group. So knowing all this, would you try it?
My grandma's breathing machine is so old, you have to pull a string to turn it on to make it loud husky house.
It pulls you in. What? You just want to be part of it. That's the beautiful thing about being human.
Yeah, raw chicken. That's crazy.
Through celebration, safety, and culture. But culture also hands us assumptions.
Yeah, right. I mean,
without us realizing. And sometimes those assumptions clash. Not because anybody's wrong, but because no culture has all the answers.
Now that I've lived halfway across the world from my home, I find myself wondering what else I've never questioned. Sometimes clarity doesn't come from finding the answer, but from realizing the questions we've never asked.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to go to court or pay expensive upfront legal fees.
Okay, we finally made it. We had to try like 3 different shops just to get this.
What do you want me to do? Can you hold the camera for a Lamar Jackson edit? Let's hold the camera like that. I don't know. I'm guessing that. I'm guessing that's you win. You put your hand out and palm it like this. Put your hands on the camera you're filming with. It's a laptop. Let me see what we can have. There we go. Is that better? Okay. Hold on, I'm watching something. Read your damn. Oh, cover it. I ain't doing all this crap. I'll do it later. I don't know what you're talking about. It's almost over. We'll watch the last minute of this and we'll figure out what's going on with you. Cover it with your hand. I'll look it up.
And this is raw chicken. I'm gonna eat it. It looks really good. It looks so good. Like, this plating is amazing. There's warnings on the menu that says, like, be careful if you're like not feeling well. So, you know, they take precautions here to like warn you about the raw chickens and the concerns of eating raw chicken. Chicken breast. It's actually so good. Man, I'm so mad that I can't have chicken like breast like this all the time. If I could have chicken like breast like this all the time, I would be so ripped. I would be so happy to eat chicken breast. Chicken breast is like the driest thing on the planet if you don't cook it right. But if you just eat it raw, it's so much better. So it's kind of chewy. It's, if you have ever had tuna sushi before, it's chewier than that.
That's weird.
But it doesn't have like a chicken flavor to it. All of it's kind of like seared around the edges. The surface of the meat is cooked. And here's thigh. It has some raw chicken skin too. It's really good. So since the thigh was cut a little bit thicker, it was a little bit chewy, and the skin kind of had like the smoky charred flavor to it. I kind of like that. And that's really freaking delicious. Not a lot of chicken flavor going through, but it's, I mean, it's just more moist. None of the moisture is like cooked out of it. So it's really tasty. And this is liver for this. I'm a little scared about this one because the innards is where the bacteria is, but you know, they gave it to me on a plate, and yeah, I'm just gonna try it.
What? No way.
That. Damn. If I get sick later, that's kind of worth it.
If I get sick later, that's kind of worth it. I know, man. That's so true. Only when you try wrong, you realize what you've been missing all along.
Kind of like
right.
And
well,
it
okay.
does have a slight hint of.
So here's a big thing, and I think we're told to fear the things that help us the most. Like, we're told to fear this, fear that. They just want us. They say, if we can convince them to not do this, then they go to the doctor more often. They're going to have more of these problems so that we can sell more pills. Right, and you won't know. It's crazy.
Like this.
I'm becoming cynical with the whole
the texture of that
medical
so
community.
It's like a really soft, like you have a bit of chewier than a piece of fish, but it's velvety smooth going down. So I think liver's my favorite, but it's the sketchiest piece of meat to eat. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this, and I wish we could have raw chicken like regularly. I really enjoy this. So, see ya.
You know,
have a good day.
I mean, he seemed to enjoy it quite a bit, you know. People put down here, they said the mold is getting to him. That's funny. The mold is getting to him. People are funny. I love it. All right, let's see, where was I? Shakira. Oh, baby, when you talk, baby. Syphilis is what? No way. Oh, what? What? Oh, nice. All right. What is this, dude? What is this? This dude's got fake. I eat raw U.S. store-bought eggs, but I will not recommend raw chicken. I know, dude. That's a huge problem. That raw eggs. I don't have an issue with raw eggs either. Which of these would you want? Mazda, all these. Yeah, I agree. I agree with the eggs. I don't agree with it. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I agree. Yes, the eggs are fine. Most of the eggs in America will be fine, but raw. But the chickens, yeah, they do so much bullshit to them.
They've been around since 250 million years ago. They are as old as dinosaurs. The largest one ever discovered was a beluga sturgeon that was over 28 feet, 8.5 meters long, and weighed in about 3,463 pounds.
Crazy.
That's as much as a Tesla Model 3 or a Toyota Prius. Caviar used to be enjoyed by everybody, from peasants to royalty. In the 1800s, it was the same price as butter, and served for free at bars as a salty snack to drink with.
So how did caviar get so expensive?
Sturgeons have a long reproductive cycle. They can live up to being 100 years old. And the little ones start to reproduce after 6 years old, while the big ones can go upwards to 20 years old before they start reproducing. So yeah, it takes a long time. And they actually swim back to where they're born in order to lay their
we've
eggs.
been using
That's
dams
a huge
and
problem.
all that
If
bullshit.
humans built dams and all of a sudden just stop their path to be able to go back to their spawning point, well, that's actually happened. There was one point where 600,000 sturgeons tried to swim back to their spawn point, but they were blocked by a dam.
600,000.
With Geico Motorcycle Insurance, you get custom coverage for your bike and accessories, so nothing can stop you from riding.
So what ended up happening is that most of them died. And as caviar got more accessible to the world, it got way more popular. In combination with their long-ass lives, overfishing and habitat destruction caused their population to decrease drastically, which caused the price to skyrocket. And fishing for sturgeon became a lucrative business where you can make a ton of money. It got so bad that sturgeons became an endangered species, and now it's illegal to fish wild sturgeon.
The caviar we get today are from farms, which is another painstaking process that I'll get to later.
Caviar became associated with status and wealth, especially during the Industrial Revolution. People wanted to try these exotic raw eggs from these dinosaurs of animals. Today, the most expensive caviar is called Almus caviar.
Richard, did you know
it comes from an albino all-white sturgeon that has lived anywhere from 60 to 100 years old and goes for $25,000 a kilogram, which is...
Hold on. Richard, did you know that STD, sexually transmitted disease, is proof that one ain't spectator? What? Did you know that STD is a proof that one ain't spectator? Oh, you mean that we're not the ones... We're the ones getting fucked? Not the ones fucking... I'm confused.
Is actually 25 times more expensive than the same weight in gold.
And we're gonna do it for less than $1.
STD is proof that one
we're adding
is
some water, dashi powder, dark soy sauce, fish sauce, and salt. Then we're gonna boil it for a couple minutes. Afterwards, we're gonna add 2% by weight agar agar. We're going to let it cool down for a few minutes, and finally we're going to use a pipette in order to drop bits of hot liquid into the cold oil. Agar agar is made of an algae that is kind of like jello, where it's a liquid at hot temperatures and starts solidifying at 100 Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius. So when you drop the hot liquid into cold oil, they don't mix, and it's cooled instantly, immediately forming little spheres. Straining it from the oil and rinsing it and putting it in these little caviar cans. this.
What's up, Dan?
So I'm gonna do the weird food content creator thing of calculating the total cost of everything, apportioned only to the amount that I used. And that came out to be 34 cents.
Wow.
But if you bought everything from the store, the total would be $25.39. And since I had everything just laying around my house, it really cost me $0.
Right.
So I think the texture of these are going to be more like a crunchy Jello. So I do have another
Dude,
way.
we had a good
that's gonna
time
be a little more
yesterday,
realistic.
man. So I woke up like 2.5 hours ago, almost 3 hours ago, and I couldn't go back to sleep, so I jumped on the live again. And it's been a good live too, dude. We were teaching 14-year-old boys that girls have more than one hole in their vaginas. And all kinds of good stuff. It's been a good live today too, brother. Already looks like piss. I don't know if I can trust this Japanese man.
We're gonna add water,
it's the same
squid
guy.
ink, dashi
The same
powder,
guy that
salt,
made the mold.
and MSG. I've never really had squid ink.
But yeah, we had a good time, Danny.
Ooh, smells like seafood. Whoa, that's weird. This texture is crazy. It's like a paste. Oh, that tastes like seafood. And then blend it with 1% sodium alginate until
He's
we get a
making
thickened
fake. Well, that's a good thing. So you can't trust him. He's making fake
While we're doing
caviar.
that, we're also gonna add 0.5% calcium lactate into some water, and then let that sit overnight too. After a day, we're gonna pipette and drop little orbs of our squid ink mixture into
So,
the
yeah,
calcium
he's
chloride
making
mixture
fake-
to make popping bubbles. Spherification is a technique that turns liquids into gel spheres. It works by mixing a liquid with sodium alginate, a substance from seaweed, and then dropping it into a calcium bath. The calcium reacts with the alginate on the surface of each drop, creating a thin gel shell, leaving the inside
pops,
liquid.
yeah.
Then we
Ugh.
strain and rinse off the caviar with some water.
It's
and put it
mind blowing
into
that
our
Danny
tin.
thinks
I think to make the most convincing
around
caviar, we're gonna need
yesterday.
to know how it's made. Sturgeons are raised in
Yeah, you're
farms
totally
for
busted, dude.
15 years. That's 15 whole years where you have to feed these things before you see even a cent of profit.
Damn.
What's also crazy is you can't tell the gender of a sturgeon until they're 3 years old. So you have to raise a bunch of baby sturgeons for 3 whole
You
years.
can't tell the
before you have to
gender
kill
of
off
sturgeons until
half
they're
of them. And
3.
to determine their gender, you have to use blood tests and ultrasound them, each one manually. By
That's crazy.
hand. Then after another 10 years, you have to give them hormone therapy just to have them ripen their eggs. And then finally, after 15 years, you kill them, and then you harvest that sweet,
That's
sweet sturgeon.
crazy,
the
dude.
eggs come in these little sacks that you have to separate them by hand because they're very delicate and they will pop on you. Then they're salted and aged for another few weeks, which
That's
then gets
crazy.
turned into caviar before they're sold and finally consumed. Seems doable.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Caviar is essentially fish eggs with the 4% salt brine, so I got my salmon roe and added 4% salt. Yep, that's it. But I wanted to know what it felt like to take the eggs out of the sack. So I found these fish eggs. These are like herring roe fish eggs from Canada. I couldn't find the actual eggs that are still inside the egg sack for the fish, but this looked close enough. They look like they just laid it onto the
That's
seaweed
crazy.
and people just harvested it. Kind of looked like the Alma caviar. Let's see how it goes. So I just dropped everything into the water and tried to separate it. But I realized that it was extremely hard, so I used a metal grate, which destroyed the seaweed and made everything super slimy. So then I tried soaking it in a salt brine for an hour to soften the membrane, which did make it a lot easier to peel off the
gender
seaweed,
fluid
but
a
everything was
full
still
rich
clumped together.
meaning.
I realized I had a mesh that perfectly fit an individual egg in each hole, so I sandwiched 2 of them together and it was a lot easier. But after an hour of doing this, my hands are soggy and salty and everything smells like fish. And I can see why caviar is so damn expensive. It is so hard to separate these eggs from their membrane in order to get them to individual, like,
that's crazy.
ball-sized pieces. It is crazy.
That shit is
I cannot
crazy.
believe this is a thing. All right, now I'm gonna rinse it. Finally. Normally this is like cured in salt, but because I did the salt brine in order to soften its membrane, I'm not gonna cure it in salt. Instead, I'm just gonna dry it and store it. I wanted to try making an egg look black like caviar, so I added some water with some squid ink
Black
and put some
tar.
flying fish roll in it overnight.
Yeah, they probably have something to dissolve the membrane, I would imagine.
trying to build a website?
Like
Because I
rather
got
than,
you. Oh? Check out Bluehost. They have an AI site creator.
you know, like I would
Didn't
imagine
turn out
they have
dark
something
enough,
to
so I
dissolve
added
the
some
membrane
black
so they
food
don't
coloring, and then it
manually
eventually
remove.
turned black enough. This 30-gram container of caviar cost me $90.
Whoa.
Now we're gonna see if I can convince somebody that this fake caviar is real. Okay, this is my sister.
Hiyo.
We're gonna try
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 caviars. This is number 1.
I have to guess which one's real.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Boba.
That one tastes like boba.
Next one.
Whoa, that's a salmon roe.
This is 4.
That's the tiny one.
All right. This
Herring.
one.
Okay.
Okay, last one.
Whoa. That one was like the least like crunchy.
Is there any one that you want to try again?
Can I try the first one again?
Yeah.
$1
That one
caviar.
still tastes like seawater. Maybe the first or the last one.
All right. So
Okay.
your final answer is.
I liked the first one the most.
Wow, $1 caviar.
Let's choose the first one.
It looks like her sister was
first one?
experienced the
Okay.
blindfold game.
You can take your mask off.
Let's play hide the worm.
I knew it! Okay, damn it! I was like, the last one tasted the weirdest, like different in texture. It wasn't like the popping one.
Yeah.
It was the least poppy one. What was this one?
This one, I made popping boba out of squid ink. So I think if I made this out of squid ink, it would have tasted pretty similar to this.
Yeah, this one had a different
Oh,
flavor. It didn't
that's
have any
pretty crazy.
like popping at all. It was like
It
nice
says-
and mushy.
All
Maybe
right,
it's a stepsister.
we're gonna eat it on chicken nuggets now.
Chicken nugget. What? You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think that $1 fake tasted that much like caviar. The best times
That's
are never
crazy.
about having the nicest things, but creating memories with what you have around you.
That's absolutely crazy.
God damn it, this is so dumb. Alright, well, have a nice day. Yeah, have a nice day. See ya.
He's not good at ending his videos. I guess neither am I. Alright.
Make your browser fast.
Oh, hush.
Make your browser safe.
Don't tell me what to do on the browser.
Make your browser Chrome.
Alright. Alright. So I'm gonna call it again. I got a 9 o'clock appointment, so hopefully if I can get everything ready, take a shower and everything in the next hour, get it taken care of. But ladies and gents, thank you much. Borsho, we'll see you in a bit, my friend. Thank you for stopping by again.